Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Veronica and today I wanted to make a video on how to make friends as an adult. I know this is a tricky subject and there's lots of different reasons you might want to make friends as an adult. Maybe you just moved to a new place, maybe you just got out of a relationship and your whole routine revolved around them, or maybe you just always had friends in school, but now that you're not in school, you don't really know where to go from here, right? So lots of different reasons to make friends, and I've had so much fun fostering friendships as an adult. I'm 27 now. I was born and raised in Arizona, but I have moved out, but I've always come back to Arizona. And actually in the fall, I'm moving back out. I'm going to Paris, France. So excited. I'm going for my master's degree, and I don't know anyone. I don't know anyone in France, so this is kind of a video for my future self on how to make friends because I'll need it. I will definitely need it. Step one is make one friend. This is particularly if you are in the same town and you maybe have like one friend from school or one friend from work or like a cousin, a sibling, just someone especially like outside of your relationship, outside of your boyfriend or girlfriend's friends, someone like on your end that's there for you. If you can reach out to one person and you feel comfortable doing that, just reach out for coffee, let them know, like, honestly, let them know you want to make friends, or let them know like you're going through a breakup or whatever the case may be, and they might understand and they might start inviting you out to things. It really could just take one point of contact. Now, if you're moving to someplace new and you literally don't know a single soul, you can't do this, obviously. Well, I won't be able to do this. So I recommend going out by yourself. And that sounds a little scary because it definitely can be, but it doesn't have to be. So ideas to go out by yourself can include taking yoga classes or swimming classes. Dance classes are really good because they're very social. Maybe like a Pilates class, joining a book club, or playing billiards. Billiards is very interesting because you definitely need another person. But you know, if you feel comfortable like going maybe to the student lounge or a bar, honestly, and just like practicing pool, you might befriend someone. Karaoke, I would love to be regular at karaoke. That is like one of my goals. I don't care if I'm the only person there. Like if I go by myself, I love hearing people sing. And I love just like the variety. There's always one person that's like professional sounding and then just someone else that's there for a good time. And you don't know if they're gonna regret it in the morning, but it's still so, I love the vibe of karaoke. There are oftentimes clubs at work or school. Even if you work remote and you're outside of school, sometimes there are like little things to do with your coworkers, whether it's like a volunteering experience or helping plan an event. I know with my job, we have like a women's initiative. Sometimes there's like rock climbing clubs, hiking clubs, things like that, where you're outside of your main group and your main colleagues and you can just meet new people. You could take a sewing class, a cooking class, an improv class, or a language class. A language class is really cool. Now, the little caveat with a language class is you might meet people who speak your native language, but just try to befriend people that are also locals. Even if you don't speak the language that well, you know, that's why you're in a language class. And then you have like two communities, right? You have like your native language and your host language of your host country. So basically the most important thing when you're going out by yourself is figuring out your third place. And so if your first place is home and your second place is work, the third place is someplace in between where you feel comfortable going to. And unfortunately, it does have to be a little bit more structured nowadays, and it is, you know, it's not as casual as it used to be. I'm not entirely sure about Europe, but in general, like people are just busier, like we're very productive, and so having a place to just chill that's not at home is important for building relationships. Okay, so once you take the initiative to go out by yourself, you'll start to see familiar faces and you can start befriending people in those classes. After you've, befriended, like, this is my person, I like talking to you, then you can take the initiative and ask them out. Some cool ways to invite someone out. Obviously, you can invite them out for a drink or a coffee, or you can invite them on a hot girl walk or girl dinner, or you can invite people over. But if you don't feel like you have a good space to invite people over, maybe there's a lounge area in your apartment complex that could be great for hosting. Or you could have a girls' night out, obviously like at a happy hour or wherever you want. You can definitely take a dance class with the girlies. You could go to a board game cafe. You could even host a craft night, and I've definitely gone out to a craft night, which was like to a friend's place for a craft night, which was absolutely beautiful. But I've also seen at libraries, they'll have like a little sewing session, or even just like at a super chill cafe. I've seen like a group of elderly ladies just crocheting and chit-chatting and having their coffee. And I just think crafting is such a wholesome way to bring people together. For me, some successful things that people have asked me out to is like their birthday party. I think that is so fun. It's such a sweet way of saying, I think you're cool, I want you to come out with my friends and I, but if you're busy, literally no pressure. Like, I'm gonna be with my best friends because it's a birthday party. That being said, if you do invite people over to your place, most likely you can invite like at least one other person. I know some places are small. I know my place in Paris is going to be tiny, but you can invite people over for a video game night, or you could even play video games like separately together. Okay, so after you've taken the initiative, don't be afraid of rejection. For me, if I will invite people twice, and if they say no 2 times, then I'm like, okay, they don't want to be friends, that's totally fine. If you invite someone out on a friendship date, there are so many different responses. They could say no, and that could be they're busy. Nothing against you, but they could already have an established friend group, a ton of different plans, and they just don't have time. They could say, I'm busy that day, sorry I can't make it, but let's hang out during the week, or let's do this, let's do that. A counter is such a lovely thing to receive, because then you have more plans. Then you have more plans to hang out with more people. And then obviously they could also say yes, but just keep in mind, I've definitely noticed like 1 in 10 times, if someone says yes, there's a chance that they might bail same day. And it happens, and it's up to you how often you're going to accept people constantly bailing on you. I'm really lucky that I've met a group of girlies who find that to be a pet peeve of theirs, of like, if you say you're gonna go, you should go. And it's really cool. So you can definitely either invite one person out, or like a group of girlies out, or boys, you can invite boys, you can befriend boys, I guess. And then you might start getting invited to things too, right? If you invite people, they'll start seeing you as a friend, and they might invite you to things. And this is so important. Say yes. Say yes. I have been invited downtown at like 8 p.m. Oh, sorry, we're all running late. Like, we're gonna be there closer to 9. And I'm like, okay, like, it's a little outside my comfort zone. But yeah, like, I'm gonna say yes. I'm going to go. And if I don't like it, I can leave. Like, that's the best part about being an adult. Once I'm finally there, obviously I didn't want to drive there, I didn't want to park, or didn't want to look for parking, golly. But once I got there, it was good. Like, there were good people I hadn't met before. And another trick, like, I knew this group of people, but I didn't know that group of people. And what I did was I took pictures of that group of people, obviously with them knowing, like, hey, do you guys want a picture? And that's a really cool way of saying, like, I'm fully aware that I am not a part of this friend group, and you guys would probably appreciate it if I, the random, took a picture of all of you guys together. It is such a sweet way to make friends with someone, and that's a really cool way to step into a new friend group. Just in case it doesn't work out, you're not in any of their pictures, and they'll be forever grateful for that. Usually because most people don't take pictures of their friends, you know? Super random side note, but highly recommend. Also, a girly pop was like, hey, I want to start a book club. And I was like, yes, this is exactly why I came. Downtown isn't necessarily my scene, but it's definitely an easy place for everyone from all around the town to get together and to start a book club and to be added into a group chat, and then to like solidify basically like a new set of friends, to have this group of girlies to do things that we're actually interested in is so fun. Now let's think a little bit about the butterfly effect. If I was like, no, downtown isn't really my thing, like, oh, going out past 9 p.m., like that's really late, I would have never been invited into a book club and like solidified these friendships. So sometimes you have to say yes to things that you don't necessarily want to do. Obviously don't put yourself in danger, and obviously make sure you trust the people that you're going with. But sometimes you just have to say yes, even if it's far away, even if it's inconvenient. My biggest thing has always been, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. It's like 40 minutes away, or it's this or that. But then I do, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I actually love everyone here. Oh my gosh, we're playing board games. Like, I love board games. It usually brings people joy to extend out that invite, and then to have someone that, you know, they haven't invited before show up. It really does mean a lot, and it really shows that you're interested in being their friend. If you say, no, I don't want to go, they might assume that you just don't want to be their friend, that you already have enough friends. They might not invite you to the next thing. But if you just put in a little bit of effort in the beginning to maybe do like, you know, get over those little hurdles of like, oh, I have to find parking. If you just get over those hurdles, you can definitely start to have a say on what you want to do. Like, what if we do a Saturday morning book bar, right? What if you guys come over for brunch? I've definitely done that. I'm like, you guys are all gonna come over. I've had dinner parties before. Dinner parties are so precious, and I've definitely had it where someone else completely takes over cooking. I am in love with those people. Thank you for making my life easier. I just wanted to gather people, but there are some people that are very passionate about cooking, so befriend those people as well. But you can't really get into those deeper friendships without being uncomfortable, right? The first couple of times of like, oh, I got invited to like so-and-so's birthday party or this or that, and I don't know them. That's okay. That's okay. Like, you can get to know them. And if you realize you don't like them and they invite you to something, you can just say no. Like, you are an adult, you have full control of who you befriend. It also helps like figuring out who you are and what you like to do. That's why it's so important to take yourself out, figure out your hobbies, your interests, what kind of, you know, sports things you want to do, how you want to stay active, and attract those types of people. For me, one of my personality traits is Halloween. Just Halloween, it's my favorite time of year, and the best part of Halloween is obviously how spooky it is, but how I get to bring everyone I met like basically all year into my place, and my place is way too big for one person. It's so fun just inviting so many people and it's so cool because it's people I trust, like 50 people at my place. Again, I will not be doing that when I'm in France. My place will be way too small. I think maybe max 4 people, but most likely like 2 or 3 would be the most amount of people I would want at my place. And then again, I will definitely be taking into consideration third places as well. But in the suburbs, it is easier to invite a lot of people over and to just like have fun, have so much fun. To summarize, what is this, an essay? Start by one friend if that's available to you, but if not, go out and find your third place and figure out what you're interested in. Be selfish. Honestly, be selfish, and then you'll find other people who are doing things that they like, and then you can bond over it, and it's just wonderful. Take the initiative to ask people out. I know it's weird, but there's so many different ways to do it. There are very casual ways to do it, like inviting them to a party. Or you could, you know, be more direct of like, do you want to grab coffee or go on a hot girl walk or, you know, whatever. Usually when you're chit-chatting, you'll find something that you're both interested in, and you can then accept invites, especially friends of friends. They might grow to like you, which is really awesome, and they might want to invite you out. And so accept invites, and honestly find a way to take those half invites of like, oh, we should do this sometime, if you feel like it's genuine, and turn it into a date and a place. And then before you know it, you'll start a little mini friend group, and it'll be so cute and so precious. And just know that some friends come and go, but some last a lifetime. And hopefully you already know someone like that. For me, gosh, I love my friends. I do. But some of my oldest friends are people that I've known the longest, just don't live in Arizona anymore. So it's so important with those types of friends to keep in touch, to set up a FaceTime, like text them every now and then, follow up with them, you know, let them know what's going on in their life. For me, sometimes I'm just like, hey, how was your day today? You can obviously plan something a little bit cuter, like a Discord date night or a Discord game night. You can you can vlog at them. I definitely do that to my boyfriend. He lives here, not in my house, but he lives in Arizona. I still vlog at him. I am like, hey, I just got home from work, like here's everything that is going on with me today, and he's cool with it. That's the biggest thing when you vlog at someone, make sure they're cool with it. You can also write people letters and postcards. Definitely keep that in mind, and in a couple of years, maybe you guys can plan a trip together, or honestly, same year. Depending on where you are, what makes sense for you and your budget and everything. Never go in debt for friends. There are so many free activities to do and to try, you know, like picnics or baking or movie nights or all of the above. I don't know if you noticed, but I definitely stayed away from social media for most of these things. I have social media so that, you know, when I'm out and about, like, hey, can I have your Instagram? But for me, when I invite people out, I invite them through text. And obviously, a side note, if you do invite someone through social media, like if you're DMing them, just give them time to check it. But I would say staying off of social media is a good thing to avoid FOMO. Like, I feel like people don't really use the word FOMO anymore, but you know, it's called social media, but I think we've all felt a little lonely going on social media. Find different ways to connect with people. I would say obviously use it as much as you feel comfortable with, but it's just been too gamified and too addictive. And I think the worst part is that 90% of the things I see on social media aren't really my friends. So I really don't care. Like, I have to start muting things, and with Reels and the Explore page, like, I don't care, you know? You really have to check your algorithm and figure out, like, is this what I actually want to be seeing every day? For me, I just delete it. Social media isn't necessarily the best way to keep up with friends or friendships as much as like a phone call or seeing them in person would be. So that was my little tangent on social media. But I think if you follow these steps, you'll be able to build friendships. Some might only last a couple of years, but some could last a lifetime. And that's pretty great. So stay happy, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!